Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is about visualizing success and at the same time at least facing and trying to conquer our fears. And the reason why I say at least face and try to conquer, because fear is a really big thing, and sometimes even trying to face fear is difficult. So okay, I like to use paper a lot when I do these exercises, as I did in my last one, because sometimes I feel that there are certain things that you need to get them out of your head and put them on paper in order to see them clearly for what they are. Fear in particular is something that we manifest, and it can overtake us to the point that we are completely blinded and crippled by it, and we forget to realize that when we are fearful of something, this is only a possible outcome to something. This is not the cement, concrete outcome of something that can happen in our lives. So the best way to face fear is by taking a piece of paper, writing down what the fear is as if it actually happens. And I'm not talking about physical danger. Physical danger is physical danger, and fear is actually important because fear helps us become protected from danger. For example, your fear, if you're standing on a building close to the edge, you would probably be afraid that you will fall off. Well, it's good that you feel afraid about that. That's your fear telling you, hey, be careful, don't stand too close, you might fall. Okay. But when we talk about fear crippling us, it may be crippling us in a situation where we are not physically or mentally in danger. We are just crippled by the fear itself. So what I like to do, like I said, is take a piece of paper and write down what the fear is, the actual fear. It could be I'm afraid to film a video and post it on YouTube because I'm so afraid of the humiliation I will get if the video isn't amazing, for example, right? I'll use that as an example because I film videos and I post them on YouTube. Then I like to write down, well, and this is my favorite saying, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? So we write down the fear and we write down what is the worst that can happen. And you write down all the things that will happen. I will feel humiliated. I may receive negative, abusive comments. I may hide under a rock and never come out again. Whatever it is, write it down. And then I like to write down next to it, okay, if that were to happen, how would I heal myself from those things? And I write steps, like action steps to heal myself as if it actually happened, right? That's the first thing to do, because not only are you taking the fear out of your head, it's almost like you're counseling yourself. It's like somebody else comes up to you and says, you know what, I'm afraid. I really want to put some videos on YouTube because I really love what I do, but I'm so afraid of people making fun of me or people abusing me or my videos not turning out great. And then I think in a third person because I think, well, what kind of advice would I give them? So you give yourself the same sort of advice. Counsel yourself. And, by counseling yourself, you know what you're actually doing, you guys? You're loving yourself. And I think that's very important because when we look at fear and we look at what we're afraid of, we don't We don't use confidence to overcome it. We have a lack of confidence, if you understand what I mean. And that's why the fear becomes crippling. So when we can counsel ourselves, or when we can speak to ourselves and befriend ourselves and love ourselves, then we are helping ourselves conquer our fears. So that seems strange and it seems difficult to do. So for me, that's why I like to imagine it's a second person or coming to me with this problem, and I write down exactly what it is that I would do to help them and encourage them, especially if I felt that their fear isn't, not that it's not worth it. I mean, everybody's fear is, it's real to them. But if, for example, if I know somebody has a talent and I know that they're really good at it and they should do it, I would know exactly how to encourage them and explain to them what it is that they're great at in relation to the fear. So, if you're counseling yourself, think about what it is that you would say if it was somebody else coming up to you, knowing yourself and knowing what your capabilities are and knowing what your skills are. Once you've got all that written down, it's not going to conquer the fear, but it's going to at least allow you to look at it from a logical kind of perspective. And then you can really weigh out whether or not it's as great as you thought it was, especially if you've also decided to write down other possible outcomes. Because if you're counseling yourself, just as if you're counseling a friend, you're going to write down other outcomes like, hey, you're really great at connecting with people. How do you know people aren't going to love what you write down? How do you know people aren't going to appreciate you giving them advice, for example, right? So you're also writing down other possible outcomes. Now, you don't need to make a decision at that point whether you've conquered that fear or not. But the next thing you need to do, turn over your piece of paper till it's blank and it's white. And this is where we use visualizing stimulation to manifest what it is we want. So look at your white piece of paper, or if you don't want to look at the white piece of paper, you could even just close your eyes. I like to look at the other side of the paper, and I like to draw with my eyes a picture of what it is that I want to see. So in this case, we're talking about, having a fear of filming videos and posting them on YouTube. I would like to visualize myself on camera and doing a great video that is reaching people, that is connecting with people, and that is helping people. And then I'm seeing a lot of feedback that it's really positive, and it's not to boost my ego, but it's there to show me that what I have done has really touched somebody and has really helped someone. And I actually visualize this picture. Then I put the picture in motion so that it's no longer a picture, but it's a video. And I actually imagine the entire event happening, from me speaking and recording to uploading it to posting it and reading through the feedback or reading the emails that I have received that are really positive. Now, I'm not talking about things that I'm doing now. I'm talking about things that, say, I did prior to getting online with my tarot, for example. I used to read tarot, but never online and never to to the world as such. So this is actually one of the exercises that I did before I got onto YouTube, and I would visualize it and see it. And I would really create it in a way that it made me feel warm and happy and loved. So the reason why I ask you to do that is because you're promoting more positive energy than fear. That's all you really need to do. After that, send it out to the universe. You may want to chant to Archangels Michael and Raphael, as I have done before, because they are archangels of healing and protection, if you believe in angels. I will not so much chant, but even just speak to them and say to them, this is my vision and this is my fear, and these are the steps that I have put into place if my fear were to ever manifest. But I have great hope that it won't, and I do want to pursue this goal. Please give me wisdom and strength and enlightenment to achieve that. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. You can keep the piece of paper, you can throw the piece of paper, you can look at it every now and again to reignite that positive visualization, and you can re-look at the fears that you wrote down inside and the action steps that you wrote down to overcome those fears, if you like. You don't have to do anything at all. But I find, well, what I found was doing that regularly actually changed my perspective and actually changed my feelings. And when it came to, well, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen was actually not as bad as I thought it was, because at the end of the day, I became so much more confident in myself and what I believe and how I feel about what I do. I actually put a post a few days ago. It's not mine, but I did put a post a few days ago that I had seen. I reposted it on my Instagram, and it was fear equals false evidence appearing real. And that's exactly what it is. Fear is not evidence. Fear is not a concrete possibility. My phone's going to die in a minute. Okay, so I better quickly end this. Fear is one possibility, okay, you guys, and there are many more. And that's what this exercise is about, promoting positivity. All right, I better end this video before it dies. I love you. I hope this helped you. Wishing you much love, light, and peace. Take care. Bye for now.